A woman should be who and what she wants. We support the multifaceted woman, the woman embracing many titles, undertaking different ventures, and building generational wealth. You are a Jackie of all trades, master of your empire. Enterprise Empress, you are an unstoppable force. Welcome back, Empresses, and thank you for tuning in this week to another Today's Jackie Show. I'm one of your co-hosts, Sharon E. Coleman.
I'm Natalie Rowe. Hey, everybody.
And I'm Nadie Hornsby.
We call this the Today's Jackie Show because we interview women who are Jackie of all trades, master of their empire.
Right. These are multifaceted women from the community. They wear many titles, they're undertaking many ventures, and they're building generational wealth. Today,
we are just elated to have our Today's Jackie of the Week. She is an education advocate, a successful entrepreneur, and is the youngest ever school board member. Everyone, welcome Luisas Santos. Welcome.
Hi.
We're so happy to have you with us. So tell me, before we get started, how would you like for us to refer to you as, so that people know we aren't being disrespectful?
Right. Definitely call me Luisa. I'm Luisa through and through, and I am so happy to be here with you all.
Look, we're all about putting respect on women's names with their titles.
Yes. We had a guest who's a doctor, and one of the things she mentioned is that people don't call her by her title. So we always like to ask just to make sure, that you're comfortable with how we refer to you. Okay.
I appreciate that you asked, because that means that you're respected, and but I'm fine without it. But a lot of people don't ask, and you're right, they won't use it. And it's like, well, come on.
Right. You earned your title. So we want to make sure. We want to make sure. So we know, Luisa, why we call you a Jackie. Can you tell our viewers what are some of the titles that you wear and some of the ventures that you've undertaken?
Yeah, absolutely. Like everyone here, I wear many hats, and I'm very driven to do a lot of things. So the main one right now that takes up a lot of my time is being a school board member, serving as the youngest ever elected school board member on the Miami-Dade County School Board, which is the fourth largest in the nation, serving, of course, as a board member to other non-for-profits. I'm proud to serve as a board member of the Georgetown Scholars Program, which is the first generation low-income program at Georgetown University. Of course, like many of you, I'm a sister, I'm a fiance, I'm a daughter, and what took up a lot of my life until very recently is I'm a serial entrepreneur as well. I exited one business, I've started another, so entrepreneur, another title there.
I like the serial entrepreneur part. Right. Like, it's not just one thing, it's several things. Sharon and I can kind of relate to that a little bit.
You can relate to that a lot of bit. Right. Yeah, I mean, seriously, in the company of very serial entrepreneurs. I say that after two, but I know you all do so many amazing things.
Yeah, we have a couple of things.
Right? Now, Nadie, we've been trying to get Luisa, I think, since we first started the show, and every time the schedules didn't work out. So we are like so excited to have her today. We're just proud of your accomplishments. And we know that you are a proud product of Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and you have a very impressive educational background, which includes you interned with the undersecretary during the President Barack Obama administration in the U.S. Department of Education, and you were actually in D.C., correct?
Yes.
How did that happen? Like, you have to tell us that. And then we want to know, what did you learn from that? Because that's so impressive.
Yeah, I think, something I've always heard is like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. There was some of that. And, there was opportunity, timing, et cetera. But really, that story starts a few years before that. So I'll share quickly that I was at Miami-Dade College first, and I'll get to Georgetown and we can talk about that later. But I got to Georgetown University. And when I was at Miami-Dade, I got to know the president of the college because I was a student government leader. And the summer before going to Georgetown, I on a whim, cold emailed and said, I'm a student. I'd really love to meet with you because I want to give back to the college before I go off to DC. Oh, wow. And he took the meeting, which was already surprising. And I sat there and I told him, I want to volunteer in your office because this place has done so much for me and I want to do my part. And he looked at me and he said, I would be honored to offer you your first job. And so I got to work in the president's office at Miami-Dade College that summer, which then when the opportunity came, because I was at Georgetown, I was in DC, I was in the right place at the right time to apply to intern with the undersecretary. I reached out to Dr. Padron, the MDC president, because I knew he had done work nationally. And I said, I really would like to do this. Do you know the undersecretary? And he was like, consider it done, a recommendation letter. And I think really that's what ended up, having them select me over everyone else who may have applied, that he was able to vouch for my work ethic. And when I was, like a baby still, I was literally straight out of 2 years at Miami-Dade. So that's how that happened, having cheerleaders that you've proven yourself to that will sponsor you in the world, right? Will go tell people that you're great. And certainly being there, I got to add more sponsors and cheerleaders, including the undersecretary, who continues to be a mentor to me to this day.
Wow. You said a few nuggets.
Yes.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. A lot of times we dream, but when the opportunity comes, we're like, oh, yeah. Da, da, da. So you were ready. You reached out to people you knew. So that's also another nugget, just taking advantage of your resources, and closed mouths don't get fed. So being bold enough to ask for that opportunity and going into it with a heart to serve, not to get, and you end up getting a lot out of that. So kudos to you. I feel like that's such a great story to share that can help other people kind of step outside their box, and who knows what'll happen,
So I have a question, but before I ask that question, I have to say that, so I'm a product of Miami-Dade College too. And I think that so many of us have just this wonderful story about that institution, and how something happened at Miami-Dade that just shaped the rest of the story. So when you were sharing that, I just thought about, all of the ways that Miami-Dade College you can see the footprints of all the relationships that I made there throughout my career and my life. So I love that. I was going to ask you though, to share a little bit. I know that you were born in Colombia, right? So as a fellow Latina, I love to hear more about the story of, the journey of the transition and pursuing higher education. And like most of us, Miami-Dade is like the step one, right? And then we can go, the world is at our feet after that. So just share with us the journey, the transition, the obstacles, and words that you might share with other Latinos that are in that process.
Yeah. So I'm so glad you mentioned your story. And I know actually even before that, I have another school in common with Sharon, who's also an alum of Coral Reef Senior High, where I graduated. So I'm loving all the alumni networks here. But to answer your question, so I came from Colombia when I was 8 years old, and, our schools kind of became my haven. I found teachers and counselors who poured into me. But around junior year, I wanted to start a mentoring program, and my school told me, well, you have to register officially as a volunteer. And so I went to Miami-Dade and was trying to do it. And they asked me for my social security number, and I asked my mom, and she said, well, actually, you don't have one. And that's how I learned that I was undocumented, because we had come and had overstayed a visa. And so that presented an enormous challenge that I had not even had to face, because our K-12 system really is very good about mostly being inclusive of undocumented students as well, especially in Miami-Dade, I should say. So I thought I was headed to, straight to, I had a very high GPA, was extremely involved. And it was really, I think, one of the toughest moments in my life to sort of have to put all that away because, thank goodness a lot of things have changed and there's a lot more opportunity. But back then, I was like petrified to call an admissions office because I thought that somehow they could like report me to ICE and I would get deported. Right. So it was a time of fear in my life. And I was able, again, through those mentors and people who believe in me, one of my teachers said, have you ever heard of this program at Miami-Dade? It's called the Honors College. I think they could help cover some of your tuition. So I had to go to Miami-Dade paying out-of-state tuition since I was undocumented, which is like 5 times as much. But I had an opportunity, right? I was able to continue my education. And it took a lot of sort of persevering over all these things that I thought were going to be true for me that shifted. And guess what? It was the best thing that happened to me. I landed in the right place. I got to meet all these people. I got experiences that have really shaped me. And then eventually received my residency and was able to go to Georgetown. And of course, that informs a lot of the work that I do today in ensuring that no matter your situation, you're going to have an option to go as far as you want to go. And we're doing that.
I feel like you have the faith on steroids. We had another guest and she talked about just having faith on steroids, just really stepping out on faith and just going for things. And even our last guest that Natalie was just talking about, that was a doctor. She was saying like, she really didn't desire to become a doctor. Like she just was following the footsteps, following the nuggets, I guess, that were falling in front of her. And it was like, oh, okay, people are going to college. I guess I need to look into college. Or, oh, okay, I like this. Let me see about this. And it just kind of, unveiled for her. So to be able to just walk into things without the pressure and to watch it evolve into something greater, it's just amazing.
Yeah. I've definitely become a huge believer in, the universe will conspire in your favor. You'll always land where you need to be. And you asked, I forgot to answer the second half of the question, which was like the advice that I have for, maybe high school or college students. And I think definitely having the audacity to believe that your biggest dreams can come true and to continue to dream big is huge, and persevering in the face of challenges. And of course, for me, looking back, it's like finding strength in the challenges that you have faced along your journey, because that is powerful. And you can find a lot of good that comes from those sort of not great moments of life.
Yeah, that's good. I love that you talk about how everything wasn't laid out for you like in this perfect path, but you didn't allow the obstacles that came up to deter you. You adjusted along the way, to go and to get where you were trying to get and to accomplish the goals that you had set. That's so important because we have so many people, especially in this day that we're living in with COVID, that everything isn't going the way that they envisioned that it would go. But as long as you're willing to adjust, you'll still get to where you're destined to get to, clearly, because you're sitting here as a school board member, even though you started as an undocumented student and didn't even know it, So I think that's really cool. So to transition a little bit, I hear that there is an amazing community event that's taking place this weekend that you know a little something about.
Yes. I'm very happy to tell you about this community event because it is my pride and joy and something that we are launching and hope to do annually. And it is really to celebrate our teachers, our students, our families, and to also inform them of the many resources available to them. So yes, you're right. This Saturday, May 14th, 5 p.m., Coral Reef Senior High School, which is awesome. Yeah, we're having a huge free resource fair for the community and tons of performances. And these are like very professional performances because these students win national championships all the time. It's incredible. We have food, we have games, we have activations from the community non-for-profits that are joining. A lot of our schools will be tabling. So it will be a really fun time for everyone. To come out, enjoy a fun night together, and learn about everything that's available to you. Again, I don't want anyone who's facing any kind of challenge to think that they're alone. And we've got so many people in our community who are going to be there to share all kinds of resources. and all of the Miami-Dade County Public Schools departments will be there. So if you have questions about pre-K versus, Head Start, VPK, they'll be there. If you have questions about mental health resources, they'll be there. If you have questions about academic programs, they will be there. So come with lots of questions and come ready to have fun.
So one question to follow up, where can people go if they want to learn more and to get information, or if they aren't familiar with where Coral Reef is there a website that they can go to?
Right here, luisasantos.com. And they can click on a 9 and D9, although there's a pop-up. So if you go, you'll see a pop-up that will take you to the tab and it's Saturday. So you've got to, get on it. And on the website, you can reserve a free ticket. It's all free, but it's easier if you register.
Perfect.
Now, are the Coudettes performing?
Yes, they are. They are performing. They're award-winning. They literally are national champions. And so you get this treat of an incredible routine. So yes, they will be there.
So, I was a visual and performing arts dance major while at Corey.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So you were of that caliber.
Yes. And, I'm just excited for you, because when you graduate, to be able to use your resources and your network to come back and benefit the community that shaped you, I know it's just like an amazing feeling for you. So I will be there to support. And I'm just so excited to just meet all of the community and kind of reconnect with where it all got started for us.
I know, it's amazing. And I don't know if you had Rebecca Santalo when you were there.
I did. She was my teacher. And I went to Southwood. She was at Southwood too.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Well, we had a similar trajectory. I went to Southwood too. But she is now the activities director there. And so she's been our right-hand person. So yeah, life is very interesting and it's all connected.
Okay. So I think, Nady,
do you have a game?
I do have a game.
Oh, I'm nervous.
We do this with all of our guests. Today's game is Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? And I will say this, okay? I have 2 law degrees, and I'm only saying that because 2 of these questions tripped me up, okay? And I had the answers. I had to go back and Google to confirm that the answers were correct. So I say that because it's just fun. It's okay if you trip up a little bit. It's all fun, okay? So
maybe you have us nervous now.
Right. The pressure. You have 2 law degrees.
I think it was really neat. So I think you'll be fine. So question number 1, okay? Luisa, that's for you. Super easy. Well, question 1. How many sides does a hexagon have?
Hexagon. Okay, that's 6. Is that 6?
Yup.
Okay.
I was like, why can I have gotten that when I knew that answer?
Sharon, you made me question myself.
What do you call the words which describe a noun?
Adjective?
Yeah. You said easy. Natalie, who was the first human to visit the moon?
Oh, was that Neil Armstrong?
Oh my God.
I was scared. Okay.
Can you count the number of stars present in the official flag of the USA?
Is that for me?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, for you. So how many stars does it have?
I would think 50.
See what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah, 50 states. Now I'm literally questioning everything. Now I'm like Puerto Rico, maybe. I don't know.
And I was like, is it 50 or 51? It's one of them.
No, I was thinking that. I was like, 50. Yeah.
Sharon, how many sides does a quadrilateral have?
Oh, girl.
Oh, wow.
Quad. You have to remember to break down the root words.
Yes. Yes.
Is it quad? I feel like I want to say, is it 8? No.
Natalie?
A quad is 4, right?
4.
That's what, okay. Quadruple. Oh, you know what? I think I like quadruple. Yeah.
I thought quadruplets, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luisa was up there like, I know it.
Can I jump in?
What do you call an angle less than 90 degrees?
No.
Acute.
Whoa! So that's the one that one of the ones that I was tripping on.
I would have got that wrong too, Nadine.
I remember that one.
I would have got that one wrong.
They're getting harder, Nadie.
Sharon, who were the first group of people to celebrate Thanksgiving?
The Pilgrims. No?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that a trick question?
Right.
This one tripped me up, Natalie, so I'll throw myself under the bus in case you get it wrong.
Pressure.
In which year did Thomas Edison invent the light bulb? Fifth graders know this?
Can I phone a friend?
Can you call a friend?
I have no idea.
Nobody does, not even the sixth graders.
Wait, Luisa, do you know?
No, I was going to phone my friend Google.
See, right.
1879. 1879.
Oh.
Well, that was before I was born.
Right.
Which I knew that.
Is it Luisa, is it your turn? Yes. In Australia, which animal is found the most? A duck, koala, kookaburra, or kangaroo?
Between koala and kangaroo, but I feel like kangaroos are known in Australia, so I'm going to say kangaroo.
Yes,
right.
You're right.
I thought it might be tricky.
Sharon, you can close us out. This one tripped me up, so I'll throw myself under the bus.
Oh, Lord.
In which country was the first fireworks invented?
Oh, wow.
I was convinced it was here.
I was going to say Asia because they just always are ahead.
Well, which country? You're right.
Oh, country. I did continent. Country. Oh, that's a hard one. Well, I got the continent right.
You got the continent?
Lisa, you seem like you know. I'm going to call in. No.
I can take a guess, but no.
Japan?
No. Natalie?
China?
It was China?
Yeah, I mean,
that was easy. I should have said China first. We're always getting stuff from China.
You guys did very, very well. Good job.
So collectively, we are smarter than the fifth grader.
Collectively.
There were two questions that made us not as smart as a seventh grader.
Yes, there you go.
Oh, so we have to get back into questions because now that we know you really do know education, because we thought we're prepared, Luisa, that just in case we didn't get the answers right, we would know what to say. Like, this is why it's important for you to be advocating for education because don't be like us, right? No. But we're actually smarter than I guess we gave ourselves credit. We're smarter than the credit we gave ourselves. So let's continue with the questions. Yeah. So how has the community and other colleagues embraced you as the youngest school board member? You know, sometimes it's hard for people to receive new blood. And does being the youngest school board member now inspire you to kind of climb the educational ladder and, go all the way? Are we allowed to ask you that?
You can ask anything. It's your show. So this is interesting. I think, one of the things that I think is such a huge asset to me is one that I have the lived experience of sort of a recent student's perspective. And that is very helpful. I lean on that all the time. And so that it is a positive thing that I am able to sort of have that experience because education has changed a lot and continues to change a lot. And so I think there's value to that. And I think it's recognized across the board. And frankly, I think, another asset is this sort of entrepreneurial thinking. And yes, I have an education background, but I also have this sort of business background that helps me merge two things. And as you all know, being the CEO of anything requires you to really get smart about how to allocate resources, how to think about the full picture. And so that's been really helpful. And I think my colleagues certainly have welcomed and appreciated that. And certainly I can tell you that the students who at the end of the day, I think I really work for, absolutely appreciate that. And it's given me the perspective of being able to bring students to the table by creating a fellowship that is actually open. Applications are open right now through May 28th. So any high school and college student watching should absolutely go check it out again on this website, on the fellowship tab. And this sort of like getting into the education leadership space and what may come next or what inspired me to get here. I truly believe that education has the power to change lives, and it's a huge lever we have. It can't be the only thing, because there are many other inequities that exist in the world that create opportunity gaps. But I strongly believe that education is one of the strongest levers we have, and therefore I chose to really double down on education. I have had sort of two guiding principles that have led me to do the different things I've done in life. And they've always been, I want to make sure that I am having a positive impact in what I'm doing. And I always want to make sure that I'm building. I love building things, contributing. And really it was a combination of those two things that at different points have led me to start a business or run for school board. But those two things remain constant for me. And wherever I feel like I am doing those two things to the best of my abilities is where I will land.
Yeah. Timing is everything. And I thought about that as soon as I asked you the question. I thought, man, it's really great that you came in right before the pandemic or right at the pandemic, because that young blood of understanding technology and being able to pivot quickly, I think the younger you are, the more adaptable you are. So I think being on the board probably benefited the entire team, having someone so young that can be encouraging about, pivoting into this whole virtual learning. And then you didn't tell us, how far do you want to go?
I will go. I did actually. The two things that will drive me are wherever I'm having the greatest positive impact and wherever I get to build. And so wherever that takes me is what's next for me.
Got you. Okay. We're not going to get a specific in there, but we know that wherever you go, you're taking your passion and your expertise with you. So, yeah. Yes. When I saw you running the first time, I felt like everyone from Coral Reef was just so proud. Like, we were just so excited. So yeah, I'm always smiling, but even more, I'm just smiling tonight because it's just, it's always great when you see people from your high school and your community just keep advancing. So we're rooting for you.
Thank you.
So you talked about your two guiding principles. So I'm sure that they will inform this question. If you had the opportunity to build a community vision board, what would you want to see on that board as it relates to education and our young people?
Great question, Nat.
Yes, very good question. It's what I get to work toward every day, right? So I'll tell you a few different components of that vision. For me, every student, and really I would mean every student, would feel engaged in their education, would see themselves in their education, would feel like they belong and are welcomed in their places of learning. They'd be learning by doing, right? So a lot of project-based learning to things that are relevant to them. In my vision board, we would also have the happiest teachers in the world that feel supported both by the families they serve, by their administrators, by their districts, and they get to really have the flexibility to execute on their passion, because teachers become teachers because they're passionate, and we should make that a joyous career. I would tell you that there would be no achievement gaps, right? Every student would be performing regardless of their background, because we would pour into them what they need, not just sort of the same. And we've made some progress there, but we've got a long way to go. We would shut down the school to prison pipeline. That would not be a thought in my mind if I had, if I had it my way. Students would be going to school in electric school buses that aren't toxic for their lungs. Our buildings, would have solar on top, so they're producing the energy they need, and they're resiliency centers for our community when a natural disaster hits or when we're facing, climate change. I could go on and on, but those are some, students would have an individualized plan for what they will do once they graduate, because the greatest measure of success is not that we're graduating kids, it's what they do after they leave us. Are they ready to succeed, or do they fail as soon as they leave us? And then on the front end, I would say, part of my vision is that every 3-year-old and up would be enrolled in a high quality education program, because for every $1 we invest in early learning, we have a return of about $8 on the back end. But more importantly, we just need to make sure that students are ready to thrive academically, and getting them in earlier would do that.
I love that. I love that your vision encompasses the whole person and not just one aspect. Because if you focus on one aspect, but you forget about those other things, like the carbon emission even, and the solar, like you aren't really addressing all of the needs. So I appreciate that it's a all-encompassing vision that you have.
Yeah, it encompasses the whole person, but also the whole system, like literally the building. The solar panels. So I really appreciated that.
The teachers. Yeah.
And that's what really builds a community in that way.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
So I just want to pivot for a minute or two, because you're so many things, and we're focused heavily on your passion for education because it seems to be at the core of who you are. But you're also an entrepreneur, right? And you have an ice cream shop. And I just want to, first of all, as a fellow entrepreneur who works exclusively with female entrepreneurs, this is my happy place. So I want to know all about your entrepreneurial journey, the obstacles, the overcoming the little person that lives in our head, overcoming her, and then just the legal side of it, because we always think about the excitement of launching a new business, but we tend to overlook like the solid legal foundation to do so. So I want to know all the things about your entrepreneurial journey.
And she got to do it while making ice cream.
I know, that's the funnest way to do it. More importantly, while eating ice cream.
While eating ice cream. You have to test the product, right? Yeah. You have to test it.
A lot of research. So my entrepreneurial journey is interesting. It's a similar sort of story of like, the world handed me some lemons and I made lemonade. So I was at Georgetown. I had lots of experience in the education space, and I thought I might go into education. I might go into consulting, because with Georgetown, there's so much recruitment that goes on for consulting firms. So I applied to this federal role in consulting, and was notified that you needed to be a citizen, not a permanent resident, which I was at the time, in order to pass federal clearance. And so once again, my status, even though it was moved along, just didn't allow me to do the thing that I thought I was going to be doing. But at the same time, I had been sort of learning about entrepreneurship and getting involved with the startup world. And so I had this wild idea because my sister told me about nitrogen ice cream, and I YouTubed everything I could find about it. And I said, I just have to make this ice cream for my own. And when I made it, funny story, I ordered a nitrogen tank to my dorm room, made ice cream with friends. And then I, on a whim, entered a rocket pitch competition. So one of those quick pitches, and just sort of jumped into something I had no clue about, but had the audacity to believe that I could somehow somehow figure it out. So I jumped in, I pitched, I won a little bit of cash. So I started doing a test product at farmers markets, pitched more competitions, won more cash, learned what investors were and that people would give me money to start a good enough idea. I raised $250,000 while very carefully minding my legal side and working with lawyers to protect all of those investments for both parties, everything from negotiating our lease agreements, all the things that have to happen, to formalize and professionalize a business and protect yourself and others. And then launched and grew. And, then I sold the business recently. And that also involved a lot of sort of legal aspects, including, assignment of our trademarks that I had registered. And so a lot of legal goes into any business. I definitely learned that. And of course, it's just really, I think, such an honor to be able to say that I've come full circle, founded, grown, and sold the business. And I can't wait to do it many times again.
Well, that's like music to your ears, right?
That's like your language.
It's my love language for sure. So I just want to thank you for being bold enough to bet on yourself. The more of us that do that, the easier it becomes for those to come after us. So thank you.
That's right. That's right.
Now, nitrogen ice cream is when you have, I think it's the ice, and then you keep like turning it. Is that the one where you?
That's a different one. No. So what I loved about nitrogen ice cream is that you could make your base from scratch using very fresh ingredients because you freeze the ice cream to order. So when you came in to order, we would have prepped, our like milk, cream, and sugar. It was like really back to the basics, clean ingredients, locally sourced. And then we would freeze it in seconds because liquid nitrogen is negative 321 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's a lot of chemistry in there. And then it was just delicious. So I enjoyed very delicious ice cream for a long time.
When you said I ordered a nitrogen tank to my dorm, in my mind, I'm like, and it blew up.
Right. Mad scientist.
To me means, fire. I don't know. So where's this going?
I know, it was wild. And I do want to clarify because, it sounds so easy when you kind of summarize it in 30 seconds, but that imposter syndrome, that questioning of, am I good enough? Should people really invest in me? Is this idea good enough? Like that took so much mental work and continues to take mental work. And it's like, everyone should know that it's scary for all of us. But the key is like, when it's scary, do it anyway. And that's when you continue to grow. And so that's what I always try to tell, people who ask me about that journey. It was not easy. It was hard. It was scary, but I chose to push through every single time.
Well, I know that it was against dorm rules for you to send a nitrogen tank to your dormitory, but you were determined to become an expert. So we're going to play on that a little with a game. Okay. So we're going to do an ice cream brain teaser. So we're going to see how much you guys know about ice cream. Right. So are you smarter than an ice cream lover? I guess we will say.
I'm better in this one.
I'm not a fan of sweets. I already know I'm going to lose, but let's go.
Oh, man, you might know it because of your kids or something. You let your kids eat ice cream, right, Nady?
I do.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with Luisa, since you're our guest. So we'll keep the pattern going of starting with you. How long does it take to make ice cream? It depends on what kind, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, it really depends on what kind. Because if you're churning with, traditional machines, it's hours and hours. If you're doing like the very old school way, it could be, 10 minutes because of, the buckets that they used to use. If you're using nitrogen, it takes a lot of time to make the base, but it takes literally 30 seconds to freeze your scoop. So there's no right answer here.
Wow.
Yeah,
educate us, Luisa.
Right.
Educate us.
So I was thinking the answer was going to be 48 hours, but clearly she just educated us about ice cream, which is why you are the expert.
Right. Right.
So let's see if Natalie can keep that momentum going.
No.
Who invented ice cream, Natalie? I'm going to give you a choice. I'm going to read out the choices.
Okay.
Multiple choice. Okay. So the French, the British, the Americans are Marco Polo and the Chinese.
Oh my goodness. Tell me the choices.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Right. I'm going to take a stab in the dark. Tell me again.
The French, the British, the Americans, Marco Polo, and the Chinese.
And the Marco Polo and the Chinese?
And the Chinese. They work together.
Marco Polo and the Chinese. They
I'm going to go.
And Sharon.
I'm going to go with the French.
Okay. What do you think, Nady?
Well, I was going to say the French only because they're like known for their culinary,
for making
expertise and making stuff. So I would say that's why I would say the French. I don't know.
Luisa, what do you think?
Okay, random fact. I know that someone in Florida, I think, invented HVAC, which means that refrigerators were started here probably, and you probably need that to make ice. So I'm going to go with the Americans.
You're going to go with the Americans? Oh, wow. You were going somewhere with that, but no. It's Marco Polo and the Chinese, actually.
Stop it.
That's the Chinese make everything. Which is when all else fails, go with the Chinese. Like, that's pretty much what we're telling you.
You said that earlier.
So I just knew that was the wrong answer.
Me too. I'm like, Marco Polo, what? No. Okay.
So I'll have to Google that to confirm. But go ahead.
Okay, verified. So why was ice cream invented?
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Is that for Luisa?
No, it's you, Nady.
Oh.
This is not Uno. You do not get to skip.
Why was it invented? So Marco Polo and the Chinese invented it. So why did they do that?
Which is really weird.
It's so weird.
Let me tell you the answers, because this is really going to throw you off. So the multiple choice answers are A, it was invented because the French wanted a flavorful, delicious, cold dessert. B, a good treat that is flavorful. C, because the French and the British wanted a yummy, cold dessert. Same thing, flavorful dessert. D, people wanted to eat something cold that has a good taste.
Oh my God. I'm going to go with D. People in general wanted. Because I don't understand why Marco Polo and the Chinese wanted to create a dessert because the French or the British wanted a frozen treat. So I'm just going to say because people, I'm going to go with D. This is just extremely random for me, but D.
I feel like you should verify it. I wish our producer could talk right now, because I'm like, this one is a weird one, but the answer was A. It was invented because the French wanted. I'm like, huh? But the Chinese are in the business of making money. So if there's a need, they figure it out. So that's what I'm gonna go with. That's the only reason.
Okay.
They knew to ask them. I don't know. That's weird, right?
Really?
We're learning a lot today. All this education.
Now I want to know the relationship between all the parties. Now I'm. This is me on YouTube for the next 4 hours. But go ahead.
Right, because Marco Polo was Italian. So how did the French the Italians, the Chinese?
Yeah.
Well, you know that I thought that you guys were going to pick Marco Polo because it's Italian. And, we think about a lot of Italian ice cream. And so I thought you guys were going to pick that. But ice cream was invented by China, introduced to the Western world by Italy, and made accessible to the general public by France.
So the Chinese invented ice cream and Marco Polo introduced it to the world. And Marco and the Italian introduced it to the world.
Introduced it.
Right?
Yes, and it was made accessible to the general public by France.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
So France must have tasted it and was like, we need that over here. We want this. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So, let's lighten it up a little bit.
Yes.
Let's lighten it up. So what is the least favorite ice cream flavor?
Mint chocolate chip.
So I'm going to name the 4 on here. You're probably not even thinking, but it's banana chunk, cotton candy swirl, rum raisin, and butter pecan. which one is the least favorite?
My least favorite would be banana, whatever you said with the banana.
Like
I hate bananas. I hate bananas.
And the second one, the cotton candy. The other two are actually really good.
Actually, we're like answering it for you, Luisa, but I do like process of elimination for you. Like, we're trying to be the homegirls here and help you, because I'm like, I would think that kids would love cotton candy. So it can't be that. And then I absolutely love butter pecan. Whenever butter pecan is on sale and the gelato, I'm like, oh, I got to get it. Right? So what do you think, Luisa?
Yeah, I had butter pecan on Sunday, so it's not going to be that. I feel like some people like rum raisin, but it's a pretty controversial flavor. So I'm going to say that that's the least liked.
Really? I love rum raisin.
And I'm going to say, girl, you are right.
So we end on a high note. Okay. we ended on a high note.
You know, what's the most popular though, Luisa?
Oh my gosh. So vanilla, I believe, or yeah.
Vanilla.
And surprisingly, a lot of people love mint chocolate chip. I was never that type of person.
Me
neither.
It's sold fast.
That makes sense because people like to eat chocolate chip dough and chocolate chip cookies. So
yeah, but not with the mint. It's the mint part. Mint and chocolate shouldn't be in the same place at the same time.
Well, people add bacon to everything and love it.
No. Mint and chocolate is like, it might
it's not the same.
It does too much.
It does too much.
Yeah, we had such a great time tonight. Like,
yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Luisa, for joining us. Oh, and before we go, congratulations on your engagement.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Are you already planning? Do you have time to plan with everything that's going on?
I don't, so it's going to be in a while, but it will happen.
But you know what? So hold on for 1 second. The reason why I didn't know about that is because I don't think we did your crowns and your titles at the beginning.
Yes, we did. She mentioned it. That's how I heard about it. She mentioned it. We just kind of kept talking.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Well,
yeah, and she slid it in with some other stuff.
Congratulations.
She slid it in.
We've done a lot. We've done a lot in the last few minutes. So
congratulations.
Yes. So a special thanks to District 9 School Board member Luisas Santos. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell our viewers where to find you on social media?
Absolutely. I mean, we make it really easy right here at Luisas Santos D9 on all social media platforms. And our website is also a great place to sign up for our newsletter so you can stay in touch.
All right, and tell us really quick in 5 seconds about the event. Where can they go? When is it? One more time.
Yep, absolutely. Saturday, May 14th, 5 to 8 p.m. LuisasSantos.com to reserve your free ticket. You can also just show up, but we prefer that you register. And performances, food at Coral Reef Senior High School, 10101 Southwest, 152nd Street.
Great. And that's our alma mater. So make sure you show up and support. Now, one of our producers, she owns a photo booth business. So she's like texting, like, tell her we can help with the wedding. Yes. So since we're talking about entrepreneurship and being bold, she's like, let me text that in here. If she needs a 360 or a photo booth, she got you.
Love it.
Oh my God, this is so good to know. Can you put it in the chat, or I need to know the name?
You see how it keeps going? She was just talking about closed mouths don't get fed. Thank you, Tanisha, for learning tonight.
Sharon, where can people find us on social media? Where can we
Enterprise Empress. You can go to our Instagram. You can follow us. You can like our Facebook, but most importantly, we want you to go to our YouTube page. Not only like the video, but subscribe so that you would get a notice every time we highlight amazing, multifaceted empresses from our community.
That's right. And Ms. Nady Hornsby, where can you be found on social media, my dear?
I am at Guard Your Genius on social media.
Perfect.
I just love that every time you say it. I'm just like, yes, that's so important.
Yes. So simple and so complex at the same time.
Right. Well, Luisa, thank you so much. We know how busy you are, and you have always taken the time to support not only women, but just people in general in our community. So the kids, you've done an event with us before where you selflessly gave your time to mentor some girls. So we just thank you again for giving us your time, and we look forward to your wedding and the event on Saturday.
Awesome. First the event, eventually the wedding. I'm so grateful for you all for creating this space for our community, for highlighting amazing people, for being amazing people, and for all you're doing across the board for everyone. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Until next time, ladies, take care.